The Tet Offensive was a shocking military campaign and the major turning point in the Vietnam War. On January 30th, 1968, the North Vietnamese Army and Southern Communist rebels known as the Viet Cong launched a number of coordinated attacks against the U.S. and South Vietnamese troops.
War has shaped civilizations, altered borders, and changed the course of history. Some battles, however, stand out as turning points that define nations, ideologies, and empires. In this video, we explore 10 of the most significant battles in history, ranked not only by their military impact, but also by their influence on the world. On June 6, 1944, the Allies launched the largest amphibious invasion in history to liberate Nazi-occupied France. Known as D-Day, this massive operation saw over 156,000 troops storming the beaches of Normandy, while airborne divisions parachuted behind enemy lines. Despite intense resistance, the Allies secured key positions and initiated a steady advance that ultimately led to the liberation of France and the collapse of Nazi Germany in 1945. The meticulous planning, deception tactics, and sheer determination of the Allied forces played a crucial role in the battle's success. This invasion not only marked the beginning of the end for Hitler's regime, but also solidified the cooperation between Allied nations, setting the stage for post-war geopolitical restructuring. One of the bloodiest battles in history, Stalingrad was a pivotal moment in World War II. Nazi Germany, having invaded the Soviet Union, found itself locked in brutal urban warfare against Soviet forces. Despite early German advances, the Soviets endured a harsh winter and counterattacked, encircling and crushing the German Sixth Army. The battle resulted in over 1 million Soviet casualties, but decisively turned the tide of the war in favor of the Allies. Stalingrad showcased the resilience of Soviet forces and the weaknesses in Germany's overextended supply lines. The psychological and strategic blow suffered by Hitler's army after this defeat was immense, marking a shift in momentum that would eventually lead to the fall of Berlin. Alexander the Great's crowning achievement, the Battle of Gaugamela, was fought against Persian King Darius III. Though outnumbered, Alexander's well-coordinated strategies, including feigned retreats and decisive cavalry strikes, led to a resounding victory. This battle effectively ended the Persian Empire's reign and paved the way for Alexander's unprecedented conquests across Asia. Gaugamela demonstrated the power of superior tactics over sheer numbers. It also highlighted Alexander's ability to adapt and innovate on the battlefield, securing his legacy as one of history's greatest military minds. The Battle of Trafalgar, 1805, fought off the coast of Spain. The Battle of Trafalgar was a defining naval battle during the Napoleonic Wars. British Admiral Horatio Nelson, despite facing a numerically superior Franco-Spanish fleet, secured a monumental victory without losing a single British ship. This battle cemented British naval dominance and thwarted Napoleon's plans to invade England. Nelson's unconventional tactics, including breaking enemy lines to create chaos, played a key role in this decisive victory. Though he was mortally wounded in the battle, his leadership ensured British supremacy at sea for more than a century. 5. The Battle of Thermopylae, 480 BC. A legendary last stand, this battle saw Spartan king Leonidas III and his 7,000 Greek allies defend a narrow pass against the massive Persian army of Xerxes. The Greeks utilized their superior training and terrain advantage to hold off the Persian forces for several days. However, betrayal led to their encirclement and ultimate defeat. Although the Spartans perished, their resistance inspired Greek unity and later victories that safeguarded Western civilization. Thermopylae remains a symbol of courage and sacrifice against overwhelming odds. When Spanish conquistador Francisco Pizarro encountered the Inca Emperor Atahualpa at Cajamarca, he executed one of the most shocking ambushes in history. With just a few hundred men armed with firearms and cavalry, Pizarro's forces massacred thousands of unarmed Incas, capturing Atahualpa and dismantling the mighty Inca Empire. This battle demonstrated the devastating impact of European weaponry, strategy, and political manipulation in the colonization of the Americas. It also marked the beginning of Spanish dominance in South America. A turning point in the American Civil War, Gettysburg was the Confederacy's last serious attempt to invade the North. Over 3 days, Union forces repelled Confederate General Robert E. Lee's army, leading to his retreat. This battle marked the beginning of the Confederacy's downfall, culminating in their surrender 2 years later. The battle's immense casualties and strategic consequences cemented it as a defining moment in American history. President Abraham Lincoln later honored the fallen with the Gettysburg Address, reinforcing the war's moral and political stakes. A significant event in the Vietnam War, the Tet Offensive, saw North Vietnamese and Viet Cong forces launch a series of surprise attacks against South Vietnamese and US positions. While the offensive was a tactical failure for the North, it shocked the American public and shifted opinions against the war, leading to eventual US withdrawal. The psychological impact of Tet was far greater than its military outcome. It revealed the resilience of the North Vietnamese and highlighted the limitations of US intervention, ultimately shaping modern perceptions of war and foreign policy. In what many believe to be a defining moment for Western civilization, Frankish leader Charles Martel halted the Umayyad Caliphate's expansion into Europe. His victory over Muslim forces ensured that Christianity remained dominant in Europe, shaping the continent's religious and cultural future. The battle solidified the power of the Frankish kingdom and prevented the further spread of Islam into Western Europe. Some historians argue that without this victory, Europe's religious and political landscape would have been drastically different.
It was one of the biggest and bloodiest battles to that point in history. A titanic clash that brought a generation of terrible warfare to a close.
The Battle of Waterloo, 1815, Napoleon Bonaparte's final stand, came at Waterloo, where his French forces faced an Allied coalition led by the Duke of Wellington and Prussian General Blücher. Despite his strategic genius, Napoleon was decisively defeated, leading to his exile and the end of his reign as Emperor of France. Waterloo reshaped European politics for decades, leading to the Congress of Vienna and a period of relative peace. Napoleon's downfall marked the end of an era and the beginning of modern European diplomacy. The Battle of the Somme, 1916, one of the deadliest battles of World War I, showcasing the horrors of trench warfare. The Battle of Yorktown, 1781, the decisive battle of the American Revolutionary War, securing U.S. independence. The Battle of Hastings, 1066, William the Conqueror's victory that forever changed English history. These battles changed the course of history, shaping the modern world in ways we still feel today. They were fought with courage, strategy, and often at great human cost. Each conflict tells a unique story of ambition, resistance, and innovation. Which battle do you think had the greatest impact? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe for more historical deep dives.